Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling something huge, a force that's quietly but really rapidly reshaping pretty much everything. Artificial intelligence. And look, this isn't just sci-fi robots anymore, right?
Yeah.
AI is shifting constantly. It's incredibly powerful. And we know you want to get a quick handle on, the basics, but also the ethical stuff that comes with it
Yeah.
right now.
It's such a critical conversation because the pace of change, especially with things like deep learning, it just keeps outstripping our ability as a society to really set rules around it.
Yeah.
And that creates this kind of regulatory gap. The sources we looked at really hit hard on this being a major vulnerability.
Absolutely. So our mission today, pretty straightforward. We've gone deep into the sources you share, this great transcript on AI's future and ethics, and we're pulling out those key nuggets, the stuff that'll get you up to speed fast. Okay, so before we jump into the risks and rewards, let's just unpack the basics for a second. When we say AI, we're not just talking about like fancy computer code. What is it fundamentally? What are we actually describing?
Well, at its core, AI is really the ability of machines to do tasks that usually need human intelligence.
Okay.
Think about making decisions, spotting patterns, even understanding context. But what's really powering the AI we see today is more specific. Machine learning, ML.
Ah, right. That's the technical bit, isn't it? We're not talking engineers manually writing millions of if this, then that rules.
Exactly right. ML systems, they don't just follow pre-programmed instructions. They figure out patterns from huge amounts of data.
Okay.
The sources gave some clear examples, like understanding complex voice commands or something incredibly complex like driving a car safely. The machine learns from experience. And that ability to infer, that's what makes AI so powerful, and honestly why it raises concerns too.
And what I liked about the sources is how they immediately pull AI out of that, theoretical future zone and put it squarely in your lap right now.
Right. We move straight into AI. Today, it's closer than you think. You're interacting with these systems constantly, probably without even noticing.
Think about when you use a voice assistant, right? Asking Siri or Alexa to play a song. Check the forecast. That smooth, natural back and forth. That's a really complex AI system doing its thing, trained on just vast data sets of human speech.
Or, think about your evening. You fire up Netflix or another streaming service. Those recommendations, what to watch next, that's not random guesswork.
No way.
That's a sophisticated machine learning model. It's doing what's called predictive behavioral modeling. It looks at millions of choices from users, kind of like you, and it predicts what you'll like with, frankly, surprising accuracy sometimes.
It's kind of wild how invisible these tools have become, isn't it? Just part of the background furniture, even like the humble email spam filter.
Yeah.
That's an intelligent system. It's constantly learning, adapting to new junk mail so you don't have to deal with it. Functional, maybe a bit boring, but absolutely essential.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is how all these everyday tools connect back to this bigger idea of just immense efficiency and speed.
Right.
They're built to automate tasks and analyze data on a scale and at a speed that, well, no human or even team of humans could possibly match. And that automation, that sets the stage for both the huge potential benefits and the really deep ethical tensions we need to talk about.
Which brings us neatly to those core trade-offs, the ones the source is really focused on. We should probably talk about the upsides first before the worries.
Good idea.
Okay, so benefit one, efficiency. We've kind of touched on that. Second big plus is accuracy, especially for tasks that are, repetitive. If you train a machine well, its ability to do something specific like, say, spotting a certain type of tumor in an MRI scan, it can often be better than a human's because it doesn't get tired. It doesn't get distracted.
That's the pro column, definitely. And it promises these incredible leaps in productivity really across every single sector. But as you said, this power, it doesn't come without a cost.
It's exactly. With great power comes great concern, right? The source material spent a lot of time zeroing in on two really immediate, really urgent worries about AI getting rolled out. Let's start with job displacement. This isn't just some abstract future problem anymore, is it?
No, it's rapidly becoming very concrete. The main concern isn't just about AI automating routine physical work, the classic blue-collar factory job threat. It's moving into automating complex cognitive tasks.
Cognitive task. Okay, give us an example of that. What does that look like?
Sure. Think about, say, legal assistants drafting standard contracts,
Hmm.
or paralegals scanning documents for specific clauses, even software developers using AI to generate basic code blocks.
Right. Things that require thinking, judgment.
Exactly. Those are tasks that need skill, but increasingly, AI tools can do them faster, cheaper, and sometimes even more consistently according to set rules. So the conversation shifts from, will robots take factory jobs to, will AI take, professional thinking jobs?
I definitely hear that fear. But didn't the sources also touch on historical parallels? We've had big tech shifts before Industrial Revolution, computers, and eventually new jobs popped up to replace the old ones, even if things were rough for a while. What makes this AI shift different or maybe more worrying?
Yeah, that's the tension the experts really dug into. History does suggest new roles emerge, but the sources argue the sheer speed and scope of this AI change are, well, unprecedented.
Faster than before.
Much faster. And unlike past revolutions where humans learned new skills to operate the new machines, these AI models are often designed to replace the cognitive decision-making part itself.
Oh, okay.
So that implies our societal structures, like retraining programs, education they need to adapt way, way faster than they ever have before to avoid, some pretty severe societal disruption and inequality.
So we trade human thinking work for machine efficiency, and society needs a super fast response mechanism. That's the job displacement tension in a nutshell.
That's a big part of it, yes.
So,
The second major concern revolves around personal privacy. AI systems are fundamentally data hungry. They need to collect and analyze enormous amounts of personal information just to work properly.
we mentioned Netflix, knowing what you watch, but this privacy threat, it goes way beyond just getting targeted ads, doesn't it? It's not just about collecting data. It's about what AI can infer from it.
Precisely. That's a really crucial difference. Data collection is just recording what you explicitly do or share your watch history, the location you ask your voice assistant about.
Okay.
Data inference is what the AI figures out about you from those bits of data, even if they seem harmless on their own.
Like figuring out your political views, maybe, or predicting if you're likely to miss a loan payment, or even calculating your insurance risk.
Yeah.
All stuff you never explicitly told it.
That's the real worry highlighted in the sources. The privacy threat isn't just about, say, a single data breach, as bad as those are. It's more about the power and control this predictive knowledge gives to big companies or even governments.
Yeah.
If an AI system knows what you're likely to do, maybe even before you do it yourself, that fundamentally shifts the power balance in society.
Okay, we need to layer in one more ethical complexity here. We talked about accuracy being a huge benefit, right? But there's a flip side when you're dealing with human data. The sources must have talked about algorithmic bias, surely.
Oh, absolutely. And it's possibly the trickiest, most insidious ethical challenge of the lot.
That's so?
Well, if an AI is trained on historical data and that data reflects existing societal biases, say, old loan data that shows bias against certain groups, the AI will very accurately learn and then reproduce that bias.
Right.
Often, it can even amplify it, make it worse, and hide it behind a veneer of objective computation.
So the AI isn't just mirroring the bias, it's scaling it up, automating discrimination, but calling it efficiency.
Exactly that. It gives this false sense of objective justification to potentially unfair outcomes. This is why the experts stress the absolute need for transparency, and why concepts like explainable AI or XAI are becoming so critical. We need the ability to understand why a machine made a particular decision, especially a high-stakes one, not just accept its output as fact from some mysterious black box.
That urgency really pushes us towards the next big question. How do we manage this? How do we guide the future? It seems clear AI is here, it's not going away. So the key isn't stopping it, it's finding that balance, right? Managing it successfully while trying to minimize The risks, the bias, the job losses, the privacy issues.
And according to the material we reviewed, managing this is a huge shared responsibility. It's not down to just one group. The path forward really needs a unified approach, setting ethical rules that aren't just, nice ideas on paper, but are actually enforceable.
Okay, so who needs to be at the table? Who are the key players who have to create and enforce these rules? It sounds like different groups have different jobs here.
That's absolutely right. And their roles need to be pretty clearly defined. You have governments. They need to set the baseline policies, the laws. Things like maybe data minimization rules, forcing companies to collect only what's necessary, or mandating transparency for certain high-stakes AI uses. They set the legal floor.
Okay, the floor. And then what about the companies, the tech firms, the developers actually building and deploying these systems? What's their specific role in, responsible development?
Right. Their job is really about implementing internal standards, often, hopefully, going beyond just the minimum legal requirements.
How?
Well, through things like robust data minimization, like we just mentioned, actively building in ways to make their AI explainable XAI so its decisions aren't totally opaque. They're responsible for the day-to-day execution, the how.
Got it. Governments set the rules. Companies execute responsibly. And then there are the scientists, the researchers, the academics working right at the cutting edge.
Yeah, their role is crucial too. It's about kind of ethical auditing and pushing the boundaries of understanding. They need to constantly analyze the social impacts of new AI models, flag potential dangers before a technology gets widely rolled out. It's like a three-legged stool. You need the legislation, the responsible implementation, and the ongoing critical analysis.
Okay, this is where it gets really exciting, I think. If we can manage this ethically, if we get those guardrails right, what kind of huge, maybe even world-changing problems can AI actually help us tackle? We talked about the risks if we fail, but what's the optimistic side? What's the big promise?
This is the huge potential, right? The reason why doing the hard ethical work is so worthwhile. If we manage it correctly, AI becomes this incredibly powerful tool we can wield against some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Like what?
Well, the sources specifically mentioned AI's potential to drastically improve medical diagnosis, using, say, computer vision models to spot diseases in scans faster and maybe more accurately than human doctors, which could lead to much earlier treatment.
Wow, that alone is a massive human benefit.
Absolutely. And beyond health, AI could help optimize really complex systems, things like improving traffic control in big, crowded cities, making them run smoother, cutting down commute times, reducing pollution.
Okay, that makes sense. Logistics optimization.
Right. And maybe the biggest one of all. The sources pointed to AI's potential role in tackling climate change
How could it help there?
through things like incredibly complex climate modeling, optimizing massive energy grids for efficiency, even helping design new sustainable materials. But, and this connects back to the bigger picture, there's another ethical tension right there.
What's that?
The huge amount of energy needed just to train these really large, powerful AI models in the first place, their own environmental footprint is significant. So we have to balance the potential climate solution AI offers with the immediate environmental costs of developing the technology itself. It's not straightforward.
Yeah, that really highlights the stakes, doesn't it? These huge potential benefits fixing health crises, traffic, maybe even climate change. They underscore why getting the ethical framework right now is so critical. If we mess up managing the immediate issues like bias, privacy, job security, we might actually slow down or even derail progress on solving these massive global problems. The stakes feel enormous, affecting our economy today and, well, our long-term survival.
Indeed. It's a really delicate balancing act. We need to foster innovation, but at the same time, ensure we're protecting society. And that takes collective, pretty rapid action from everyone involved, governments, companies, scientists.
Well, let's try and bring this deep dive towards a landing. We've covered a lot of ground pretty quickly, I think, from defining machine learning right through to the kind of global governance needed. The main takeaway seems to be AI. It's already deeply woven into our daily lives. It offers huge advantages in efficiency, in accuracy, but it demands extremely careful ethical navigation, especially around job stability, protecting our personal privacy, maybe through things like data minimization and actively fighting that algorithmic bias we talked about.
And that navigation, that guidance, it has to be a team effort. Governments setting laws, companies putting robust standards like XAI into practice, and scientists keeping an ethical watch. The future for AI is genuinely exciting, but yeah, the responsibility to steer it right, that lands squarely on collective action. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to chew on based on all this complexity. Given those immediate threats, large-scale cognitive job displacement, and that powerful data inference potentially eroding privacy, what single action do you think is the most critical for the immediate future? Should our top priority be legislating strict data minimization rules, basically forcing systems to collect less data, or should it be pouring resources into massive, maybe federally funded retraining programs to help workers displaced by cognitive automation? If you had to pick one focus right now, what's the most urgent ethical rule or action?
That's a really powerful question to end on. A reminder that these choices aren't abstract academic debates. They're urgent and right in front of us. Thank you for sharing these sources with us. We really hope this deep dive has given you a solid framework for understanding AI, what it is now, and the critical choices we all face moving forward. Keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.